Okay, so hello and welcome back to another video on the channel. In this video we're going to be doing the long-awaited Q&A, where I thank you guys for all the support you've given over the year, and also answer the questions you've given me over the last week. So I've collected them up on my YouTube page, and we're going to go through them right now. But of course, first, before we get to the Q&A, I've got to thank my patrons, with special thanks to Flow State Games, Average Morning, CZ, Art Farrell, Bideray, and Remy Baldwin. I'd also like to say a quick thank you to anyone who's helped me out at any point on Patreon, whether that's been for 1 month or many months, it doesn't matter, it's been a huge help anyway, so thank you to all you guys. So on the Q&A post I made on my channel, I asked whether you wanted to have a facecam or gameplay or something else, and even though facecam did win, gameplay was pretty close behind, and I thought you guys would much prefer to watch me do a Q&A with gameplay in the background and my webcam, rather than just watching my face, because I don't know why you want to do that. So we're going to be playing a bit of Overwatch Rank, because I just decided that would be a good idea. So let's queue up and also start answering the questions. Okay, so the first question comes in from Haruka Harahara, wanted to hear about your work in the games industry. So, funnily enough, I haven't actually got any experience in the games industry. Quite a few people just expect me to because of the channel and because I do coding tutorials and stuff. But all that is either what I've learned in school, just in high school England, for those of you who know how our school system works in sixth form, and also just from YouTube, and the internet in general. Like that's how I've got all my learning is pretty much just from that. I haven't worked for any companies, I haven't developed any games or published any games professionally. Anything I've done is on my own as an indie developer, I guess, and self-taught. So yeah, I think that answers the question. I don't actually have any experience in the games industry. Okay, so the second question or questions is coming from Hypnahide or Hypnahide. Have you ever made a game or are you a developer of one? So, I've never published any games that you can go and find on Steam or anything, but for game jams such as Ludum Dare or the Rockies Game Jam, I've made, I think it's 3 games I've actually published on there. Obviously they're all free games, just people can go get them. If you've seen my channel before, and you can go back on my old videos and see some of the development of them and on stream and stuff. Obviously they're nothing great, they're not very big games, they're just little small fun things I made for game jams, because I feel like when you set yourself a big game to make, a lot of the time it doesn't happen. People give up or they spend too much time on it and it just never happens. But with game jams it's really good, because if you only have 2 days to do something, then you set yourself the scope of a 2-day game and you actually end up making it and publishing it. So game jams are pretty good for motivation to actually get something done. But yeah, those are the only games I've made. Did I learn coding by myself, or have you some sort of class for coding while you're studying at the moment? So I first started learning coding in high school, sixth form, UK, those of you who understand what that means. Yeah, that's where I started learning coding. We were learning Python, and that was it. And then obviously, once I picked that up, I was wanting to do game development, and there's not really, there's Pygame, but you can't really make good games in Python. So I decided to look into what people do, and obviously you get Unreal and Unity, and I decided to go with Unity. I don't know why. Go ask my past self. I picked Unity anyway. And I was like, okay, you need to learn. At the time, it was JavaScript or C#, but I heard JavaScript was ending and also C# was better. So I went with C#. How the hell did I just kill someone? And yeah, so that's how I started learning C# basically, from Unity. So I learned Python in school, C# with Unity and Unity tutorials online and stuff, and self-teaching. And then I also picked up JavaScript along the way, and to be honest, that was it. Those are my main 3 languages, C#, Python, and JavaScript. Yeah. Where did the name Dapper Dino come from? Okay, so Dapper Dino came from me and my friends trying to pick names that all went together for our gamer tags, for League of Legends, Overwatch, whatever, right? And we just decided we wanted to have a theme, and one of my friends already had a posh dinosaur name. It was Exquisite Raptor, Spiffing Dinosaur, that kind of thing. So I thought, okay, I'll join in. So we've got those 2. I'll look up. I'll pick the word Dapper. I picked the word Dapper, and I was like, okay, what dinosaurs begin with D? And there's only one apparently, and it's Diplodocus or Diplodocus. And that doesn't quite have the ring to it, Dapper Diplodocus, Dapper Diplodocus. It sounds alright, but it's too long, so I thought, let's shorten it down and just go with Dapper Dino, and it kind of stuck. So that's how I got my name, to be honest. Do you like cheese? If so, what's your favourite cheese? I do like cheese. I like, cheese toasties, ham and cheese sandwiches. Don't like cheese on its own. I think it needs to go for something else. Also, I don't really have a favourite cheese. I'm not an expert on cheese. I'm not a cheese connoisseur. Sorry, I can't answer that in any more detail. So the next question's coming in from Flame Gaming. What made you want to start a YouTube channel? So, funnily enough, I didn't start it as a tutorial channel. I actually started off as just a way to document progress and show what I've been working on in my own time. And then someone said, oh, how did you make that attacking system, or that hotbar system, or that inventory system, whatever. And I thought, oh, okay, some people are interested in this. I thought I'd make some videos on it, and I got like 10 views a day or something. And then over time, you know, it kind of picked up, and then I decided one day, oh, you know, I've just learned how to make a Discord bot, and I think a lot of people might want to make a Discord bot, so I made a Discord bot tutorial, and that kicked off as well. So, you know, usually the way I decide what to do on the channel is just when I learn something new myself, and I find it interesting, and I imagine other people are going to find it interesting, I make a video on it, and it seems to work pretty well. Obviously, I do take suggestions from people, but a lot of the time, it's just something cool that I found on the internet, and you know, made a video on it and people like it. So yeah, that's how I started the YouTube channel. Okay, so the next question comes in from Sora. If you're part of my Discord server, you'll know who Sora is, one of my longest helping members of the help team and the now called teacher team. So what do you think about the Discord bot tutorials, and do they interest people as much anymore? So, okay, as for interesting me, I am not as interested as I used to be in them. I obviously made them to show people how to set up a Discord bot, and you know, that's what I achieved. I know a lot of people managed to set up Discord bots thanks to the tutorials, so that was, you know, what I consider a success for the videos. 1 second, I'm trying not to die. I'm gonna actually use my ult here. Okay, so nice. Yeah, the Discord bot tutorials. So I originally made them because I was interested in them, and I thought that people would be. And I made that short little series on, you know, how to set it up and how to make a few commands, and I thought that'd be it, because, you know, anything else people want to make isn't actually Discord bot specific, you know. It's like, oh, how do I, you know, make a Fortnite bot, for example, I got asked. Well, you just look up the Fortnite API and you just call their functions, for example. Like, you know, it's not the kind of thing I would make a video on, because when it comes to Unity, you know, people might ask, you know, oh, how do I make this with the Unity animator? But that's very specific to the Unity animator, you know, so I feel like that makes sense to have its own tutorial. Whereas for Discord.js, a lot of it was just general API stuff. So in the future, I might come back to it and do that kind of thing, right? How to use the YouTube API, how to use the Fortnite stat tracker API, whatever, right? But as of now, I don't plan on making any more videos on it, because anyone that wants to can easily come on and make a bot using TypeScript or JavaScript, and from there it's up to them to add their own commands. And if they get stuck, then they can come and join our server and make a ticket and ask for help. So that's the current state of Discord stuff on the channel. Keep in mind though, the channel is not limited just to Unity anymore. I am, you know, trying to delve into different areas. So I've just made obviously a Python video the other day, completely just random Python video that I wanted to make. Oops, I'm dead. And I'm also planning on doing some Blazor stuff, which is the framework we're using for our website in C#. And I know it's C# like Unity, but it's a different thing than Unity. And I also plan on doing machine learning stuff in the future. You know, that'd be pretty cool, and just delving into different areas of what I deem interesting and what people want to see on the channel. So yeah, if you've got any new ideas for content that I might be interested in doing, then feel free to leave them below. Okay, so the next question comes in from Fanatsu. What game inspired you to game dev? So I'm not going to say there's one particular game, but if I had to pick, it would either be Minecraft or Skyrim. Because those were the first two, like, proper games I was playing. Like, obviously before that I'd played some, like, browser games or whatever, but, you know, those are the proper desktop games I was playing first, the big games. Minecraft I'd put plenty of hours into, as I'm sure most people have. And then Skyrim also was, like, my first game that I played through to completion. I love Skyrim. I think a lot of people love Skyrim. I mean, obviously, if you look back at it now, you know, there's plenty of flaws with it, but it's still very nostalgic, and Skyrim had a creator, like, toolkit that you could get off Steam. That's still available, I'm sure. And you could make your own quests, dungeons, dialogue, items, whatever you want, right? You could use their dev tools. And that's my first kind of experimentation with making any content in games. And then after that, obviously, yeah, there's Minecraft, which I never actually made mods for, which I actually kind of want to go back and try doing at some point. That'd be interesting. Or making my own plugins for Minecraft, maybe, one day. That would be something cool on the channel if you guys wanted it. But yeah, those two games got me interested in it, I'd say. And then a few years down the line, I got Game Maker Toolkit. Well, not Game Maker Toolkit, it's just Game Maker, isn't it? Game Maker Studio, that's it. I got Game Maker Studio 2, and then after using that for a while, I thought, well, this is cool, but how do you make 3D games? And then I saw Unity, C#, and that's how I got into game dev, really. Just through Game Maker to Unity, I guess. Okay, so the next question is from Noob10 Luca. Are you excited for the future of Unity, especially the new dot system and UI changes? Obviously, I'm very excited about the future of Unity, and yeah, especially the dot system, because that's something I've been following for quite a while, and you know, I watch every Unity official video on it, and even tutorials from other YouTubers. Anytime they do a video on dots, I'm interested to see if they know something that I don't yet, because I'm not an expert on it, right? There's not much well, there's documentation on it, but there's not many official examples or really. I've been given the nano boost, so I kind of got to focus on this now. If I can get there, Anna, that'd be lovely. Oh no, they're all dead. Seems all dead. Okay. Let's get back on the site. Cool. All right. Yeah. So dots. I'm not gonna go into explain what dots is. For those of you who don't know, I've got videos on it, or a video on it actually from like the other day. But yeah, I'm just wanting to know more about how it actually works for things like, for example, collisions, right? I know they've got their own physics components, but how do collisions work, right? How would I make a projectile that deals damage on collision, right? Obviously, I'd have an entity for a projectile, and it would have some kind of component on it for applying, I don't know, a deal damage component to an entity that it collides with. I kind of got a rough understanding of how it would work, but I still have no idea how to implement it. And as soon as I understand those kind of things, then I can start making plenty of videos on it, because people ask all the time, you know, oh, how do you do this in ECS? And I'm honestly like, I don't know. I kind of got a rough idea, but I wouldn't be able to do a video on it showing you because I can't do that yet. So I want more official videos from them, and also just more tools that they're releasing. It's going to actually come out of preview in early 2020, or is it late 2020? I don't know. Point is, next year it's actually going to come out of preview, so people can actually use it in proper products, and by that point it'll have to be, you know, you have to be able to do anything in it, because otherwise they wouldn't bring it out of preview. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to do a lot more research into that, and I recommend you guys do too if you're interested. But dots is going to be a really big thing for Unity in the upcoming future. Okay, so the next question is from Tiger ZZ. Why did you start YouTube? And obviously I've already answered that, but he's got a follow-up question. Who inspired you? So, I mean, I think everyone already knows this answer. If you watch me, oh nice. If you watch me, you probably watch Brackies, and also there are other bigger Unity YouTubers. You probably watch, you know, most of them. If you watch me, then you'll watch them. So yeah, Brackies was obviously the first one I found because he's the biggest, and when you search Unity tutorials, that's who you get. You usually get him, not me. Not the other big guys. You get Brackies always. I'm not complaining. I like Brackies. I like his videos. I used to like them a lot more. That doesn't mean they're worse now. It's more of a case of he's got very good like beginner content. I know he has some more advanced stuff, but when I was starting Unity, he was a huge help in getting me into it. And then from there, I, you know, delved more on YouTube. And then there's the YouTubers who maybe not as popular, who focus more on, you know, how to do things properly and how to do things like best practice, which obviously tend to be longer videos, more in-depth and complex. But yeah, his channel is great for getting people into Unity. So if you're new to it, or you're not even doing game dev and you want to start getting into Unity, then I'd recommend Bracky's channel, as well as my own, obviously. And there's also some other big people I watch, like Danny. I was already pretty big into Unity before I found Danny, but he's getting pretty big right now, and his videos are quite entertaining. They're less tutorial based and more just devlog based, I guess. And then there's also Blackthorn Prod, is quite nice. I liked his content to get into Unity. Obviously, he does all 2D stuff, and I don't do 2D, but any 2D tutorial, you can kind of just do the same thing in 3D. It's not the hardest thing in the world. I'm gonna let that guy get out. Okay, but yeah, that's it really. Bracky's inspired me, I guess, if I had to pick someone for making YouTube videos on Unity. Okay, so the next question is from Will123A. How do you plan or manage time spent for your projects and actually finish them? So, if we're on about the projects that I actually have finished, the main thing that has got me through them and, you know, made me finish them in time is the fact that I've got such a small time constraint, like the 2 days for the game jams. Because, oh, well, one of the game jams I did was a week long, but regardless, when planning what I'm gonna make, I think, you know, all right, I've got 5 days, and I need to make A, B, C, you know, all these systems, A, B, C, whatever. So you've got to plan out on paper usually, or online, doesn't really matter. All the things you're gonna make in advance. You know, try and think properly. What are you going to make? Also, people might think, you know, it's a waste of time to spend time planning because you're not going to spend time making your actual project, but you actually probably spend more time if you don't plan than if you do plan, because then when you're making a project, you're like, oh, I didn't think about that because I didn't plan it. Oh, that's going to take me longer to refactor, change, add this thing in, remove this thing, change this around. So there's definitely plenty of problems with not planning, so I definitely recommend plan if you're taking a project seriously, and just give yourself estimated times on what stuff's going to take. Like, so this system's going to take 3 hours maybe, and then add a few extra hours on that, because let's be real, you know, if any of you do programming here, or, you know, any kind of development, it always takes longer than you expect, because there's, you know, edge cases you didn't think of, things you got to implement that you didn't think of, you know, there's so many things. it's hard, right? There's no good advice I could really give you for, oh, this is how you manage to complete all your projects with no worry about time constraints, right? It's just a thing you can learn, and obviously I'm not an expert on it either. You know, I've only been coding with projects and stuff for about, what, like a year or two? No, well, not a year or two. 2 to 3 years. And I still struggle a lot thinking, oh, this is only going to take 2 days. And then, yeah, like 4 or 5 days later, I'm still thinking, wait, I haven't finished that thing. So the best advice I can give is plan, really. I'm sorry if that doesn't help, but that's all I can really give. Okay, so the next question is from G.I. Joe. What are some of your favorite asset packs in the Unity asset store? So I don't actually use many asset packs from the store. I don't use anything for audio, models, animations. I'm not good at those things, but I prefer to do it myself anyway, just to you know, keep it simple and have full control. I don't like using other people's assets because I know eventually I'll remove them. If I was making a serious game, the only time I would use someone else's assets is if I was working with them, like properly working with them. I wouldn't, you know, just get some random ones off the store. Even if I had full, like, you know, license use to use them, I still wouldn't. So yeah, I use assets. There's two I use a lot. I use DoTween, which is really good for, well, it's a tweening library. If you don't know what that is, then, you know, go look it up. I'm not going to explain it now, but it's used for curves, essentially. So, for example, if you need stuff to move, whether that's an object actually moving or a value moving, so, like, for example, you might move an animation parameter in a certain way. You can write your own custom code to do it, but a tweening library is really useful. You could even write your own, but there are already plenty, and DoTween's really good, and it's free, and it's popular, so I'd recommend looking into that. It's also useful for UI animation, or just animation in general, that is either procedural, meaning you don't know exactly how it's going to be at runtime. So, for example, Hearthstone, maybe you play a card, and you drag it to the field, and it has the animation of how it moves. You can't pre-animate that because you don't know exactly where it's going to be and where it's going to end up. So you want to animate it from wherever it is to where it's going to be mathematically rather than using animation curves. So yeah, go look at DoTween if you want. And also Odin Inspector, I use that for, well, it's an inspector add-on, so it doesn't affect your gameplay, it affects how your editor is. If you've seen my streams, I use it on stream. I don't use it for videos because when I put the project on GitHub, I don't want my viewers to have the add-on to use it. I just don't bother with using it on videos. But it lets you do cool things like setting certain tags. There's lots of tags they've added for Unity. So, you know, like serialized field and, you know, min value. They've got like, I think it's like 80 plus. I'm probably got that number wrong. It's maybe even 100 plus. I don't know. They've got a lot of inspector tags that you can add to do useful things. I'm not going to, you know, show it off here. If you want a separate video on Odin Inspector, then I'm happy to do that. But, you know, for this Q&A, I'll just mention those are the two I use, Odin Inspector and DoTween. Okay, so from Simo Time, would you write custom scripts for subs if we paid? Yeah, so we have a commissions section on our website, and we're still got to develop it more, but essentially you'll be able to, or you are able to, put the name of your commission, so, you know, our Unity add-on for inventory, whatever, I don't know, and then you describe exactly what it needs to do, and then your price budget and so on, and then we can discuss with you about it more, and then we can get to work on it, and we can do that. So we are going to be kind of making commissions for people, and also if the commissions are general enough that other people might be interested, we could also sell them as a product on our website, and the person who gave us the initial idea can have a discount on it, and then we can put it on the website for the actual real price. We're kind of thinking more about this right now for people who want commissions made, but yeah, that's kind of a plan for the future. So if you guys, you know, aren't programmers, or you want, you know, pre-made codes that we write for you, then yeah, we're going to add systems for that. So yeah, that's... Okay, so the next question is from Sir Cheese. Who made your logo and how did he or she get the idea? So my friend Ella from school, and her name on Instagram is Silvessi. I'm going to put her Instagram here, link down below. It's also in my channel about page. She basically just offered, or I asked, I can't remember, to do the icon. Obviously, we already had the Dapper Dino name, so the actual idea wasn't that hard. It was just a dinosaur with a top hat and a monocle. There's a Dapper Dino, and she offered to do it, or I asked, as I said, I can't remember, and in return she just wanted her, you know, credit in the channel about page, and obviously she's getting some publicity here to her Instagram page. You know, go follow her page, you know, surprise her with just influx of followers. But anyway, yeah, that's how I got the logo. Okay, so the second to last question is from Mehmed Kavas. What are you doing besides your tutorials? Are you studying? How do you earn your money? And do you have your own projects that you want to release seriously? Okay, so I've answered some of that already, I think. But essentially, I'm doing the tutorials, which make a bit of money. I'm doing Patreon. I do Twitch when I can and I have time. I do commissions for people. We have hosting services. We're just trying to build up a platform where we have enough content for free to bring people in, for you guys to use, so you can watch the tutorials for free. They'll always be free. There's always going to be free content, obviously. But then we also obviously need to make money somehow to be able to sustain as a platform and actually not have to close down or anything. So that's where we're going to bring in commissions, private tutoring or mentoring. That's what's to come. I have done mentoring in the past with people who have, DM'd me and asked to sort it out, but we are going to add a proper mentoring booking service and other ideas. So if you guys have ideas of things you'd be interested in trying to help support the channel, some people like the idea of Patreon, I just want to help pay and support. But some people, obviously, if they're going to support, want to actually get something out of it. So that's where, obviously, commissions and mentoring would come in. Someone's like, oh, of course I'll pay to support your community, in return for mentoring, which, that's fair enough, right? I don't expect people to just give us money for free, because that'd be a bit silly if they did. Obviously, yeah, there's Patreon. I'm not saying patrons are silly for doing so, but you get what I mean. We can't expect everyone to just help us for nothing. Also, a lot of people do genuinely want to, pay to get mentored on coding, because that's what a lot of people are interested in. They don't know where to start, and they want to learn the same kind of stuff that I already know, so I can teach them what I know. And as I learn more, I can obviously offer that to be taught as well. So yeah, earning money at the moment. I'm currently living at home. I've just finished high school, and I'm going to be doing this for as long as not as long as I can. I'm going to be doing this for, I'm estimating 2 to 3 years before I decide, all right, this is making enough money for me to continue with, or it's not making enough money, so I'm going to have to go get a job. So that's kind of the plan, is if this is successful enough within the next 2 to 3 years, then I'm going to continue doing this. If not, I'll have to obviously go get an actual job, I guess what people will call an actual job. But my plan is to have built up enough of a portfolio and experience so that when I go and apply for a job, I've got enough to show for them to actually consider hiring me. But yeah, I guess that's the plan. And projects to release seriously. As of yet, no, because I'm too busy doing content for this and the website. So I haven't got any games ready to release or anything. But that's definitely a plan for the future anyway, but not just yet. Okay, and the final question is from Chief OJ, my friend in real life. So, where do you see the channel, website, and anything else you're thinking about doing in the future, say in a year's time, a decade, or even further beyond? Well, I'd say a decade's even too long to think about, but in a year's time or so, I'd say my plan is to have, rather than every 2 days, I want to go back to doing daily content, but not necessarily me doing every single video, because I want to focus on the things I know and get other people to focus on the things they know. So our high up dedicated community members in our help team can or have shown interest already in making videos for the channel on their areas of expertise. So we can alternate, have me on one day and then someone else on one day doing a video on this and me doing a video on that, whatever. So we can keep regular content on varied topics whilst also having an editor at that point, hopefully, so the videos can actually be better quality, better thumbnails, just the channel quality improvement in general. Obviously, I'm keeping the logo and banner, that's fine. And then as for the website, obviously, we want to have a fully fledged mentoring service where we can actually hire people to be mentors, that we make sure they know what they're on about and get their areas of expertise. So people might come along and say, oh, I want you guys to mentor me in this, and then they can see our mentoring team and what times are available to mentor, and then they can obviously do it and get a cut of the pay for doing the mentoring. So we want to set up that kind of service, and also a learning platform so people can come onto our website for free and actually just learn in general. So we're always going to want to have free content as well as paid content so that we can sustain ourselves whilst also bringing people in that don't actually want to pay, which is fine. We want to accommodate everyone. But yeah, I think that's it for the Q&A. My throat is dry and I should have bought a drink, but anyway. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to say thank you again for the 10k subscribers, and everyone says this, it's pretty cheesy, but I never thought we'd reach 10k, and I'm just now imagining I'm going to be there at 100k in the future sometime saying, I remember back at the 10k special, I never thought we'd reach 10k, 100k, whatever, right? I mean, that kind of stuff happens. You watch every YouTuber, they say that kind of thing. So yeah, as cheesy as it is, thanks for the 10k subs. It's been 1 year and it's been quite an interesting year. As I said, I didn't start out the channel to be about tutorials and teaching people in big. It was just meant to be a small channel for me to put some videos on, but it changed and I'm happy with the change it made. I've met a lot of great people, worked with some great people. I'm still growing everything and I'm just looking forward to the future of it. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you back in the next video, which is going to be presumably a normal tutorial. I don't know what on, but that'll be in 2 days time. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching and goodbye.